Hey everybody, it's Dr. Nicole Bonner with Healing Hands of Manahawkin. Hey, what is the one organ in your body that controls all the other organs? You got it, the brain. So brain health has been a big thing lately, and discussion about the brain has been on the rise. People are taking back control over their lives, and more importantly lately, more than ever, over their health. I think over the last 3 or 4 years, however long it's been, we learned a lot about taking responsibility and the need for taking responsibility for our own bodies and for our own health. We live in a world where we are diagnosed with conditions whose cause is usually blamed on things that are silly, like genetics. How many times have you been to a doctor and the doctor is just like, oh, it's just your genetics. Like you have high blood pressure and you ask the doctor, well, how did I get this? Where did this come from? Oh, it's just your genetics. Or age. Do you know how many times I've heard somebody say, well, I am getting older, right? We all have a tendency, we've been taught from a very early age to push off our responsibility for our health. And I think over the last few years, people are starting to change their belief system on that a little bit. We're starting to realize that we actually have a lot more control over our health than maybe we used to believe. So the brain plays a huge role in just about everything that happens in your life. Your brain is the control center for everything. It controls every cell. It controls every tissue. It controls every organ in your body. Your brain controls every other system in your body, including things like your circulatory system and your blood pressure. All of those things that in the past we may have pushed off and said, oh, well, it's just my genetics. Now what we know, now that we know more about how the brain and the nervous system works, we actually know that the brain controls all of that. What about, have you ever heard somebody who may have been suffering with mental illness and they'll say to you, well, it's only to be expected because my mom and my grandma and my aunts and my uncles, they all had mental illness as well, right? So here's the thing, guys, when it comes to genetics in the brain, and that is that there are 8 billion people on the planet. And if somebody has a genetic predisposition to a disease or a condition, do you believe that their children get that condition every single time? Probably not. When I say it like that, it actually sounds pretty dumb, doesn't it? Yet these are the rules that we've been living by. So now what we know is that the brain and the nervous system actually is so powerful, it can actually override genetics. In fact, newer research in genetics is showing us that only 5% of the diseases that we have actually come from genetics. 95% of the cause of disease comes from environmental factors. Whoa. So here's the thing, people are living longer, but are they living healthier? Are we aging with more vitality? The story of living longer and striving to be all that we can be, right, is a worthless feat if the quality of our lives is compromised because of a substandard health or because we lose control over our body, right? No one wants to grow old and lose their independence. In fact, when I do patient consultations, one of the first things that I hear from most patients when I ask them, what do you want? They say that the thing that's most important to me is that I don't burden my family. But people don't realize that brain health actually begins at a very young age. Brain health is the state of brain functioning across cognitive, sensory, social, emotional, behavior, and motor domains, allowing a person to realize, listen to this, guys, this is important, allowing a person to realize their full potential over the life course. The fullest potential over their life course, irrespective of the presence or absence of disorders. Well, what does that mean? And what the heck? Why is a chiropractor talking to you about this? Well, for a very good reason. Most people think that chiropractic is a treatment for musculoskeletal disease. And what I want to share with you, and my mission is to change the global perception of chiropractic so that you all can really understand what chiropractic really is and the benefit that it has for humanity. Well, guess what? Chiropractic actually also starts with the brain function. All right. Why? Because the brain controls everything. All right. It does that by sending electrical signals down from the brain down through your spinal cord, which is encased, it's housed in your spine. And then those electrical signals have to exit your spine and travel over all of the nerves throughout your body. This energy from the brain, as it flows over the nervous system, it supplies information. It supplies vital information to every organ in your body. That's pretty essential that those messages get there, don't you think? The thing is that from a very early age, starting from birth traumas, what happens is the spinal bones can become misaligned. And when they become misaligned, we call that condition the spine subluxation. What we now know, which we never knew before, was that subluxations act like a dimmer switch to the nervous system, okay? Just like a dimmer switch decreases the velocity of the electrical impulse traveling through a wire, a subluxation decreases the velocity of the nerve impulse traveling through the nerve. The problem with that is that if the nervous system slows down, guess what else slows down? You got it, the entire body. And that's what creates dysfunction. That's what creates dis-ease in the body. That's what makes the body not able to adapt. And that's why the body gets sick. In my opinion, subluxations is the most overlooked cause of disease on the planet. So there you go, guys. There is your role. There's the role that the brain plays and the nervous system plays in not only your thoughts and things like your memory and your perception, but in everything that happens inside of your body. All right, guys, make sure you show us some love. Leave us some comments. If you have any questions, we're always here to help. And just hopefully this information blesses you.